road, and continue mapping the continent. And those krakens seem to be insistent on blocking away, or blocking off that ice path. So having combat and movement animations on really does...
runs across all good ethics. Let's define our neighbor broadly and spread love through the universe.
slow things down. Is the Xeno Sanctuary a wonder? Given its low production cost, I would say that it is not. Mind Stem adds 1 point to the Transcendence victory. What is the name of our victory condition? It's not Transcendence, is it? It might be. Alright, so Alien Ethics does seem to be very critical to the Harmony victory condition then. Xenodrome provides a free Xeno Sanctuary in the city where it was built. Has the Xenodrome already been built? We could try to go for that. Promethean done in 6. This guy, we finished a Terrascape. Let's turn the yields on. Ah yes, some nice culture there. It looks like a excessively green jungle. But we're working that right away, so good. We're pumping 52 science per turn, and we're almost healthy. Almost. Right, so what else do we want to do here? Most of the tiles that need to be improved have been improved. I think we have a few too many workers. We can delete a few of them. And we can probably delete this guy too, especially since he's injured. Ah, but when he's injured, I only get half the energy back. Not that 7 energy is too much to miss. Okay, here, a whole bunch of production by trading with Sarek, or we could get 10 production, or I mean 10 science by trading with Konecho. Alright, let's do that. This worker can start, what are we expanding to this tile? That's going to be 80 energy. Purchase that plot. Since we're about to be happy again, having a good source of food is good for us here. Let's construct a plantation. Wait, did I just lose that Xenoswarm? I nearly did. Well, we do have a cruiser in the neighborhood. He'll help out with that next turn then. Yeah, we'll take it, no problem, next turn. The only danger is if they fire in between turns, and then we'll lose a Xenoswarm, which will be a bit of a pain. Let's see, let's go and bring someone else over quickly. That's going to take us 4 turns or more. What about this guy? Also 4 turns. Ah yes, Echelon T, thanks. The Transcendence victory is the victory we'd be going for if we were traveling up the Harmony path, and it seems like that's what we're doing, so we may as well stick with that. Whoa, so very many Kraken. Trade vessel. a boost to our city's production and food? Or can we get a good science yield? Nothing above 10, although 7 energy and 9 science is pretty good. Alright, let's go with that here. I think we do need to concentrate on science, so we'll shift most of our trade routes externally. Peace treaty with Kozlov has expired. Let's see if we can
Namaste.
make another cooperation agreement. Oh,
हमें ऐसा नहीं
perhaps another
लगता।
time. Well, that's a little concerning. We share an affinity and mutually beneficial trade routes. Alright, so these camps only seem to fire to defend themselves. And that's down to 0, so we can go and take the camp right now. Let's see what our reward is. We get 100 energy and 0 science. Alright, that's less energy than we get in a single turn, but we did complete that quest. We receive 50% yield from trade with Jinsoku Labs for 20 turns. Interesting. We don't currently have any trade to Jinsoku, but maybe the next time a land caravan comes available, we'll send that over to Jinsoku, depending on what the yield there is. And we have a place to send an explorer. We can go and build one quickly. Well, how much would it cost to buy? An explorer is 200 energy. Is the reward that we would get worth more than 200 energy? Probably not. Who has spare production and is building something that I don't really care for? No one really. Alright, so we'll have this guy.
Has noticed something strange nearby. It could be a ruin, some sort of wreckage, or perhaps alien in nature.
Thank you. We've successfully siphoned some energy. Great. Our agent was promoted. Excellent. And KP has built themselves another wonder. This is the Markov Eclipse. And I think this is a good way to learn what the various wonders are in the game. You can look them up every time someone builds one. The Markov Eclipse. Military units get experience 50% faster. Well, that doesn't sound good for us. Hopefully we can get her into a war with Ark, and that will further strengthen our friendship. Okay, the road here is done. I don't mind building another terrascape out, converting some of that energy into culture, and we can go and work on this floatstone as well. What do I want to do with these cruisers? We'll just keep them around the capital then. We've explored most of the outline of this continent. We don't know what's in the center. I suppose we could send someone over there. We do have a derelict settlement here. but getting an explorer over there, I guess, yeah, we could buy an explorer. You could head over, mine out that settlement, and then explore this continent. That wouldn't be bad. Alright, so, add to queue. 1 explorer. And then, sure, we can build out a Xeno Sanctuary. The Mind Stem adds 1 point per turn to the Transcendence Victory. Yeah, we can get that going. Can we only build 1, or can we build 1 in each of our cities? Looks like we can build 1 in each of our cities. Alright, let's try to steal a tech here. Quest Decision, Unnatural Selection. Through the use of medicine and other life-prolonging measures, humanity has moved beyond the bounds of evolution, as controlled by natural selection. For this reason, our genes are rife with flaws. It is our hope that, through the use of the gene smelter, we can bring about a forced evolution that will greatly improve the genetic makeup of our people. Our scientists are prepared to move forward with human trials, inserting new genes into this city's population. We shall improve our people, one slice at a time. But where do we start, the body or the mind? So, +2 science from gene smelters, or +1 health. We are healthy again. And I do have a number of other health granting buildings coming. We could go for the 2 science. Although 1 health could keep us happy for longer, which means we could open the knowledge branch that gives us a 10% boost to science while we're happy. What's our current science looking like? 219 per turn, 20 on that, versus 2 per city. We have 5 cities, so 10 there. I think I'd rather get the health boost then, and we'll open a virtue in knowledge. So foresight plus 10% science, and then maybe science from finishing expeditions would be okay. Social and wars. Each tile generates, or the city tile generates 0.25 culture for every population. That would be a good accelerant. Each city produces 0.25 per population. Yeah, if we want to keep on pumping with the science, going knowledge. It might be time to go into knowledge here. I mean, we've already activated the first kicker in might, so that might be a good time to stop might for a little bit. Yeah, I think it might be time to branch into knowledge since we are pretty much healthy again. Alright, so let's go with improve overall health. Quest complete. A natural selection, great. And we do need to build one of those in Freeland as well. Let's see, our Promethean is 5 turns away. Rays and Rays is pointing out that playing on the hardest setting and trying to win a non-domination win is generally a bad idea. Yeah, I guess. I mean, science and cultural victories are fine on duty, but that's when I'm already familiar with the game. This is a game that I'm not quite as familiar with. Alright, so Kozlov observed our military action against one of their station partners. I'll attack any station I deem necessary. But I think we're done attacking stations, so we can try to remain peaceful there. I'd rather just have them as like a mini city-state that gets us some nice science and energy through trade. Alright, so let's get to work on another terrascape here. And these guys, I suppose. We can go and work on a generator. Trade convoy. Okay, so what's our yield from Jinsoku Labs going to be? And what was our previous trade route? Our previous route was to nowhere in particular. As far as I can tell, I don't see the previous marker up. We could get a little production by trading with these cities. Uspek down here would get us the most. 9 production and 4 food in both directions, or when you total the 2 directions. The science yields here aren't enough to lure me away. Jinsoku Labs, even with the 50% boost, gets us a paltry amount of science and production. So maybe the mission to go and kill that the hostile takeover wasn't really worth it. I guess we got some experience on our units. Alright, so let's go get the largest boost here then. And trade vessel. Kabrust. Or science. 11 science with Mandira. So yeah, we'll go with the science boost there. Cruisers will keep looking around. This guy wants to go and pick up this module, or use the module to pick up that derelict settlement. Choose production. We are finally healthy. What bonuses do we have? Faster outpost growth speed. Well, let's go grab the thorium reactor. And how much desert do we have here? Plains, plains, plains. Not really much desert. I don't think we need to build out the vivarium. Although it does, 2 food does support a citizen, just like in Civ 5. We can definitely build the laboratory and the network. Oh, it was this city that needed additional things queued up. Alright, vivarium, do we have deserts here? Yes, we do. 1 desert tile there. Desert, desert, desert. Alright, definitely the vivarium next. In fact, well, 3 turns each, fine. We can hold off on the vivarium as our second. Fueling the future. Our engineers have completed work on the new Xeno fuel plant. Soon our people will no longer be dependent on harmful fossil fuels of the past. This planet holds numerous options for powering our civilization, though each comes with their own perils. Which shall we choose to fuel our future? The adequate yet abundant miasma, or the powerful yet limited xenomass? Harvest miasma, we get 1,000 energy. Harvest xenomass gets us +3 energy, +2 production, and or from xenomass wells. An immediate boost in our energy would be nice, not that we're spending it on anything. Versus a little production. I think I only have 1 xenomass well. The rest are still alien nests. So we'll probably take the quick energy infusion then. Alright, well, we don't have a module, but we can just guard this site. Fortify. And the explorer's done. Let's go and send him over to this crashed satellite. 8 turns. Not bad. And our road is done, so if we did want to pump out a bunch of units or reposition our units, we could certainly do that. Okay, Xenoswarm. Let's get back into our territory to heal up and move the artillery back to the borders. And if we want to get that floatstone online, we can spend some energy to acquire that plot. Alright, floatstone quarry it is. Now, what are ARC's units doing wandering around here? I can only assume they're getting ready for an attack, or maybe they have a mission to go and raise Jinsoku Labs, but we do need to get our units back into position here. And really, our Xenoswarm was killed by miasma. That's embarrassing. I wouldn't have expected a unit that was primarily alien in nature to be killed by miasma. Well, that's really unfortunate, especially if ARC is about to attack us. Alright, so we might have to switch over to, from building all this nice infrastructure, we don't really need the health right now, so this is a perfect time to switch over. Let's go pump out a Xenoswarm. Quest decision. Obstacles of the past. It would seem that cloning is as controversial here as it was on Earth. Our people have gathered outside the new cloning plant, demanding to know how the technology will be used. It is a fair question. Cloned proteins could very well increase the shelf life of our food, but those same stem cells could be used to battle many forms of disease, which still affect us. We will have to choose one. Why? Whatever their reasons, ethical or spiritual, our people are not prepared to fully accept cloning into their daily lives. So, do we want 10% food carryover from growth with cloning plants, or +1 health from cloning plants? I think we do have other sources of health now. There are 2 more buildings that we unlocked tech-wise that give us more health. So, carrying over 10% food does sound fairly powerful. I mean, it's no aqueduct at 40%, but, well, how much? Okay, so our largest city, the capital, with 13 population. Our next citizen is in 13 turns, and let's see if I mouse over this. 255 food is needed for the next citizen. 10% of that is 25 food, so best case scenario, we're getting 25 free food versus staying healthy, which would keep us from, well, keep us from losing science, culture, and production. Let's go health for now, and then we can maybe settle another city. And I'm also curious to see how powerful being positive on health will be. Alright, so some people in the chat are supporting the 10% boost. And I'm certainly not saying that extra health is strictly better. It's probably not. especially since we don't have to build those cloning facilities everywhere, just in the cities that need that extra food carryover. Yeah, so 10% food carryover is no aqueduct. Aqueduct did 40% food carryover.
एक और एक 11 होते हैं.
All right. Kavitha is back with another cooperation agreement. Sure, we can work together.
Le commerce fonctionne quand on comprend.
And Elodie wants floatstone. I'm not using my floatstone right now. We could gain a favor, and let's see what we can get for our other favors. Let's go and look at our relationships here. We've got a favor with the Pan-Asian Cooperative, with Brasilia, and now with Franco-Iberia. Let's see what we can get out of the Pan-Asian Cooperative for this.
One of the finest shadings of communication is the difference between "I didn't understand that" and "I understand that, but I don't care."
Alright, we can build an array which gives +1 science and +1 energy. The feed site hub gives +3 culture and +1 science from international city or station trade routes, which we do have a number of those going, so definitely building that would be good, although that does require 2 levels in supremacy, and I don't think I can afford to waste the affinity levels on that. Command Center gives a boost to city defense and hit points, so we can build that in any cities that are under siege. Looks pretty cheap to buy out too, at only 310 production, but the main reason I went for communications was for the TACnet hub, which is an orbital satellite that will give us a 20% boost to our combat, as well as healing a little faster. And so that's when I was thinking I would attack Ark. And given that they have this chain of units sitting here, we might actually do that. So who wants to build a TACnet satellite? The capital is still working on the Promethean. Over here we're working on the Xeno Sanctuary. Let's get the artillery into the city and position these units around the city. Alright, the Xenoswarm can fortify here. We're not on miasma. And we've got another cruiser out to do some more exploring. And we can develop a virtue. So we're happy. We can grab foresight. Let's see what our current science is. 237. Go and open knowledge. We're now pumping 260 science per turn. And choosing research. Covert agent here. Let's try and steal some more science. We siphoned almost 500 energy off there. Alright, so what do we need next? If we want to go for the Transcendence victory, we'll need Harmony Techs. So, alien biology we have. We can grab alien domestication. This allows us to build Xeno Cavalry, which has 48 combat strength and a movement of 3. That does sound like a unit that will be good for our war. It requires level 7 harmony though, so that's still going to be a ways off. Alien hybridization. We get healing and immunity from miasma. Miasma? And both of these act as prerequisites for alien evolution harmony. And the Xeno Titan, 96 strength, move 2, requires 7 xenomass. Sounds pretty awesome. Alright, let's try to get over to some of these awesome harmony units. And what else is going to help us with the Transcendence victory? Okay, we'll go grab alien hybridization. And it looks like we have to pick up... Oh, we already have transgenics, alright. Reset the filter. Sure, that seems good, and then we'll go grab artificial evolution. Progenitor Garden gets us plus 20% health. That seems pretty significant. Ooh, 6 health there. Alright, so we don't need to pursue the health bonuses quite as aggressively anymore. With artificial evolution, those are some pretty large bonuses. These aren't wonders, but they do require a fairly large amount of production. Alright, so we could potentially finish our first wonder here, the Promethean. The Promethean gets us a free virtue. That's the main thing there. Plus 4 health, plus 2 culture. And this trade vessel, what do we want here? Our previous trade route was 10 science, 15 science. Alright, we'll renew that then. Or 13 science and 15 energy, but still quite good. And what am I doing with all these cruisers? I mean, this guy is scouting the north end of our continent here, so I'm happy about that. But these other cruisers, we've did the full circuit of this continent. And this artillery can go and set up and heal. What is ARC up to? And should I go and build a TACnet satellite? What's my second most productive city here? Economic overview. Yeah, we can build that out of Jimboomba. The Xeno Sanctuary, extra culture, does use Xenomass though. Let's go and work on a TACnet hub. Duration 60 turns. We can go and drop that at the border here. Somewhere where it can help us if we want to get aggressive against Central or Vanguard, and also boost us if ARC does attack us. So how long is that going to take to finish? The TACnet would only take 2 turns. Alright, let's finish that off first. I don't like the look of these units here. Alright, so some good production values from internal routes, but we do get 10 science by trading with some of these Franco-Iberian cities, 13 science by trading with Mandira. Fortify here. We are in miasma, but we only lose 5 per turn, and we should be getting our next level soon. 14 out of 17 towards next level.
Anansi looked at the man's genome and
Ooh.
said, "Messy, messy! Who can live like this?" He took a broom and swept up the genome, and when the man woke up, he felt much better.
Huh. Alright, so not quite a wonder video, but at least there's a bit of voice acting and a moving portrait. I'm not sure what this is supposed to represent. I guess some organs. But yeah, we got our free virtue here. Let's see. Culture developed, free virtue, choose production, and our quest here, homegrown decision. Harvest miasma for 450 science, or do I want more xenomass? I think if we're going to be building some of those late tier harmony units, we'll need more xenomass. Although a quick boost to science. Let's see. We should be researching texts that get us more science. So, we've got cognition, fairly cheap. Artificial intelligence, also fairly cheap. Physics is super cheap. Maybe we should go and pick up physics here. The observatory, +2 science, plus science from Firaxite. Since we do have Firaxite, we definitely want to go and pick up physics. And what else is going to boost our science? Artificial intelligence from the Markov Eclipse. That was a wonder. Field theory is pretty expensive. Requires some floatstone, but does give us a 10% boost to science. Let's go grab field theory next. But let's check out some of these other science techs. Scientist specialist slots, we might need to make use of those if we're falling behind on science, and cognition here. Plus 10% science. It's only going to cost us 4 turns to grab, but requires improved Firaxite. Alright, so the cities that we took over from the Slavic Federation are going to be our science cities then. So cancel field theory, we'll go physics, into cognition, into field theory, and then we'll go back to picking up transgenics. Or what we're working on here, alien hybridization. Yeah. Alright, so in that case, for our homegrown decision here, we can harvest science from the miasma, and that'll get us a huge boost through physics and cognition. Physics. Can go and get ourselves the, let's see, Mind stem, laboratory. Alright, so this city right here with all of the Firaxite, we want to start pumping science buildings. And, but let's take care of the virtues first. Alright, knowledge. Increase culture per citizen, 30 science from finishing expeditions. We don't have a lot of expeditions finishing right now, so let's go and grab social mores. We can bypass the other bit there. And up next, we can grab laboratory apprenticeship, which gets us a boost to science per population. Alright, so what do we want in this city here? We need more geothermal if we want to build the Xenodrome Wonder. So let's build out this sanctuary. We do have a quest for that. And units need orders. Okay, so that's closed off to the north. And keep on exploring this way. Alright, let's go and build the observatory. Does Uzbek already have an observatory? I wouldn't be surprised if we did. Yes, we do, so we are already getting the science off of that Phyrexite. Nice. Those beakers do look quite shiny. Alright, so we've explored most of the seas now. This artillery is fine where he is, fortify. And we've got a TACnet hub. Where do we want to launch this? Launch mode. Okay, so if I drop right beside the city, say right here, we would still... No, that's out of range to get our bonuses for attacking these cities. But still useful for defense. You could potentially do it out of the sky though. Alright, well let's hold off on the TAC sub, or TACnet hub, until we figure out exactly what ARC's up to or we're ready to launch our attack. Let's see, Terrascape, generator, farm for +1 food, not really. We could grab a manufactory, although that does produce negative health. An array, sure, we can construct an array. It's pretty much the same as the generator. Takes 2 more turns to construct, but no upkeep on that as far as I read. Alright, someone else has gone and built another wonder here. The crawler increases worker speed, I believe. But we can double check that on our mission to learn more about the wonders in this game. Plus 25% production for wonders. Huh. Alright, so that's a wonder that will likely get you many more wonders. That's pretty cool. Alright, choose production. For Sherrick. Now let's grab the gene smelter or the command center. No, we don't need any of that. Gene smelter is fine. And we'll grab a gene smelter here too. Although if we are serious about going for this Transcendence victory, we do need to start building out, what was that? The Mind Stem. Although at 600 production, that's going to take most of our cities quite a long time. What's our science production looking like? The capital and Jimboomba are at 56 and 55. We have two others in a close second around the 40s, and then our smaller cities, or our minor cities, are just pumping it around 20. Alright, let's start this expedition. And the Xenoswarm here is done. We'll go and have him hang around where all of the ARC units are hanging around. Trade vessel. Let's go grab the biggest science boost we can get. So that would be plus 10 or plus 11 here. Alright, let's just have all of our cruisers hang out around the capital then. Alright, let's have another look at the score chart. The People's African Union has pulled ahead on score. We could take a city from them. Let's say maybe this city, or, well, not this city. That's inland. We do have these cruisers that are running around. I feel like we should do something with them. Alright, so that's Kozlov, but this city here, we don't actually have vision on it. Alright, let's go and send our cruisers over to have a look at this city, and depending on how things turn out, we might go and attack it as well. Upgrade available. Our ranger is being upgraded to a gunner. We can either get him increased healing or increased defense. Let's go and grab the increased defense. The hard part here is that I don't know if we're making progress or not. Not having that demographic screen showing our ranking as far as science goes, or
I think I know what you're thinking, and you think you know what I know about your thinking, but you're wrong.
or production or food. Knowing where we stack up against the AI is really helpful when we're just, in SimCity mode, trying to get all of our infrastructure going, trying to pump our science. But anyways, on the topic of pumping our science, we've got the Neuro Lab. This will give us plus 10% science, and that'll be pretty nice. We also have a science boost from Firaxite, but it requires workable Firaxite, so we can only build the Neuro Lab in one or two of our cities here. The Hollow Suite gets us more culture, also requires Firaxite. Oh, and actually, the Neuro Lab requires level 4 supremacy, so that's not going to help us too much. But building an academy, plus 2 science. Yeah, we'll have our workers build some academies too. An academy and a Hollow Suite. Okay, so cognition's actually not going to help us with science here. I missed out on the requirement for supremacy, level 4. Okay, so if we're researching field theory, this requires purity level 8. However, the quantum computer gets us a free tech and 5 science, so we could definitely build that. Alright, well, research field theory. Is there something science related that doesn't require a affinity that we don't have? Alright, so I can't see anything that will really help us here. I mean, the drone sphere gets us +2 science and additional healing, but that's not really that exciting. I think what we need to do is see what sort of scientist specialist slots we can be working. So engineer, let's go and work the gene smelter slots. That's additional science there. Loading plant, grower, scientist, gene smelter. The Xeno nursery has a scientist slot too. And until this city grows a little more, let's see. We're definitely going to want to build out a lot of the field theory improvements here. But for the moment, none of this is going to be too helpful for us. Alright, let's just go. I do want more citizens before I employ these science slots though. So our largest cities, I'm fine with that. Maybe Zurich as well. You get to work on at least some science buildings. No science slots though. The gene smelter is currently under construction. 14 turns out. Alright, here, what do we want? An academy. Yes, let's construct an academy there. Yes, without great people, the rationale for a working specialist is just purely for their yield. There won't be any great scientists. No special boosts from that. Alright, this convoy. Let's see, more production from N2 Freeland. And the Xeno Swarm. Sure, we can fortify ourselves right there. I mean, if we really wanted to, we could take some of these capitals. They are coastal, they don't really have a lot of combat strength. I assume they have more of an army somewhere within the continent, and they could retake the city fairly easily. But if the rest of the world does think we're warmongers, we could definitely cripple these guys down. Let's see, have another look at diplomacy. Well, Brazilia's not doing that strong, they're both guarded. I guess that is some indication of our military strength. They are at guarded status.